This is the second discussion of RISEBA Career Days 2020. And this is with the theme of Career of the Future. And I thought it fitting that social enterprises is a comparatively new career, a possibility to be doing good in the world. And similarly, we don't know that much about how new charities are formed and where you have a positive idea, how can you do it? And thus I merged those two interesting topics together and have a variety of speakers from social enterprise, from a social enterprise accelerator as well, and Kumar joining us from Opportunities Australia in Australia. So good morning to some here and good evening to you in Australia. So we have a truly international panel today. And so today's topic is about social enterprises and charities that are potentially transforming society. So about this positive topic, about this motivational positive topic, I want to first ask you about your own story, your own experience, and how you came into this industry, and what are your motivations to do this. So I will ask Natalija first, as I know she actually represents a social enterprise. So tell us about you and about your social enterprise.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm a social entrepreneur and clothing designer. Today I'm representing the project Correcty. We are producing a posture correction t-shirt. Yeah, it's a little bit scientific project, but also like a design project. Yeah, we are officially social enterprise. It's my second social enterprise project, and I came to this model organically. Yes, it's my. It was like an accident, like because I was born with a rare disease and I'm disabled, and I want to motivate disabled women to get education and to run their own projects. Yeah, so we have a classical business model, B2C, B2B, yeah, with no any charities or some products for disabled people, or we are not like labor social enterprise. Yeah, we are classical business model enterprise, but we have this motivation function. So part of our work, we are going to different people, to disabled people, to parents, to entrepreneurs, to pupils, to students, and tell them how to live with disability, that it's not an end of life and it's possible to get education, how to get education for disabled people in Latvia, what are possibilities, because there are a lot of possibilities. And yeah, we are motivating, we are talking with disabled people why they're usually not finished the secondary school, and talking about the education importance with the parents. Yeah, not to take too much care of their kids, let them study, let them go to the different classes. Yeah, and yes, we have a classical business model with this motivational part.
Thank you very much, Natalija. I wanted to just follow up and ask you about, I know recently you received some prize in the world of social enterprises, some recognition. Just wanted to ask about that. What was it and what was it for?
Yes. We got a prize in a social enterprise competition. In English, it will be this good should grow up. Yeah, like yeah, this the name of this competition. Yeah, it was a pitch competition, and we got this prize for marketing materials. We got a 1,200 euros for marketing materials and a new batch producing. Yeah, also 2 weeks ago, we got another prize in the scientific competition, is the invention competition in Latvia, the Minox. We got a gold Minox prize as a new invention in scientific field. So yeah, we are working on both sides.
Happy to hear that your work is recognized. I wanted to now ask Maria, perhaps you work in the field of social enterprises, in an accelerator of social enterprises. Tell me two things first, like what is it, the social enterprise? What is a social enterprise accelerator? And what motivates you? Why are you in this field?
Yes, hello. I'm not a social entrepreneur. I'm a traditional entrepreneur and a film producer. And to me, being a part of social entrepreneurship accelerator is an intellectual charity, meaning I joined the board 5 years ago in order to provide quality education opportunities for starting social entrepreneurs in Latvia. And turned out that our services and our courses are also, our knowledge is required also abroad in some places. So what is a social enterprise? And social, there are many definitions in the world, but I'd like to keep things simpler. So basically, social enterprise is a business with a purpose to bring solutions to important acute social issues. The difference with the ordinary business is that in the classical business and the ordinary business, the purpose of all activity is to generate more profit for shareholders. In social business, profit is undoubtedly desirable, but the top priority is to generate positive social impact. So a social entrepreneur chooses social impact over profit, which doesn't mean that it's that the business should not generate income. But if I have to choose to work sustainably or to work more profitably, as a social entrepreneur, I would choose to work sustainably with less profit, which goes against the basic principle of a classical business. I think that social entrepreneurship as a concept actually tackles and addresses the need for new business ethics that we find in today's world. And I think overall society already came to a conclusion that we need to change the way we do many things, because before we didn't know that much also about the world around us, also about humans. We didn't know that much. So now we understand that there are consequences to our actions. We already understand what consequences, and we are trying to change the way we approach even money making, even earning. So we understand that after we do something, there should be good not only for us, but also for our communities and for humanity as a whole, and even for the planet as a whole. At least we should minimize the harm if we're not able to create additional good for everybody. But so social entrepreneurship is taking this perspective that I can make money, but I also, in doing that, while doing that, I can generate a positive social impact for my community.
I have, Maria, I have a little follow-up question to you as well. Just because you are in this field in Latvia in social enterprises, how young is the field? Because I know about 10 years ago, I think in Latvia, nobody heard of social enterprises as a class of business. How new or old is the field? How have you seen it develop?
The field is very young. It's developing rapidly. We see, like even Natalija, it's already her second social business that she started. It has a quite strong governmental support and legislative support, which is very nice. because it immediately, you know, when government supports something, immediately the population also looks to that side and thinks about this direction of business development as a potential, as a positive. So we don't have that many of social enterprises on one hand. On the other hand, we have a lot of small social enterprises that just started, and we know for a company to grow I mean, our country is small, our market is small, so it does take time, but it's definitely a direction with the potential. And I mean, there's so many social problems, right? There's so many social issues. That is definitely a field for solutions. So yes, there is a huge potential.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Now I have the question for Kumar from Opportunities Australia. I have this question to you because I have also seen, or I've seen that you had an idea about a charity that needs to be created, and you saw a need, I guess, in the market in Australia particularly. So I wanted to ask you, what made you want to create the charity, and how is the work going, and what is your mission in all this?
Okay, sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. So unemployment in Australia was around 6% before COVID hit. And post-COVID, it has come down to 15%. Government doesn't give out the actual percentage. So I would say it has hit close to 20% as well. There are different organizations, ABC, which is, which produces the real news, and some other agencies, they have come up with information like unemployment in Australia has increased over 20%. So it's pretty bad. And besides that, there are plenty of international students who graduate from Australian universities. University market is quite big, as you also came as an international student, so did I. So what happens in Australia is people come from overseas, and they also hope to establish in here. So they spend a lot of money in university qualification, hope to establish themselves. But the fact is, not many people get to find work in the same field. So they end up working in something unusual. And, most of the time, or over half the percentage of time, it's laboring work. So someone would have done a master's degree or bachelor's degree in accounting or IT, etc., and they end up working as a laborer somewhere just to pay the bills, because they keep on applying and they can't get anywhere. So yeah, as the unemployment is high and just imbalance of work is also frustrating people, that also leads to depression. Depression is quite high in here as well. So there are several factors in here, and definitely there is a big need of social enterprise or a charity, that can connect people. Firstly, that can upskill people. I would like to take you through this point. Is university qualifies people, university educates people to a certain level, but in order to be job ready, people need hands-on experience. So just coming out of university is not enough. So, and that's why those people struggle. So after finishing university, they look out for work, and then after, workplaces say, okay, university degrees, we do not really care for. What we care for is work experience. So there's a gap in there. So in order to make people job ready, organization like ours come in handy. So we bring people to that level. And then also connecting people to employment opportunities. Because someone is fresh in the country, they may not know the art of resume writing, interview skills, also be able to connect with organizations. Usually organizations take local students, these are some of the core facts in here. So for international students to find work in established workforce, it's a bit difficult. And I'm not just about international students, about local students as well, the Australian people too. So everyone needs a connection. They say like it's about who you know instead of what you know. That's an unfortunate thing in Australia. So yeah, we are forming connections with the corporates. So as we speak, we have formed connection with Deloitte and a major Australian company called Latvia. Tata is an international company from India. So they have an entity called TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. So we have formed partnership with them too. So a few corporate partnerships have been formed, and those companies have agreed to train our people, to upskill our people, as well as employ them too. So yeah, our aim is to be able to come to a certain level where people show respect to Opportunities Australia. And every time we send a candidate via our company, no one would judge them, and they would happily take them on board, knowing that there is a standard, to Opportunities Australia's candidates, and they would not fail them. So yeah, this is my mission. There are lots of people who are seeking help in terms of finding suitable work or upskilling themselves. Salesforce is a large international organization, and Salesforce has agreed to train our people for free and provide them Salesforce certification. So there are lots of in-kind support from various corporates, as well as there are some government funding coming in as well, as Maria was talking about. So it's very important to get the support from the government behind this too. So yeah, I'm very excited with this. It's only been 4 months of introducing Opportunities Australia. But yeah, there have been some progress. And another progress that we have made is we are going to work with the prison. So the inmates of the prison are here. There would be a couple of hundred people who would be about to leave prison. So now they are thinking about the career. And before they hit the career pathway, they have to have a fine, like they have to be in the right set of mind. So in order to do that, we will get help, we will provide help from psychologists to life coaches to yoga teachers, then to technical trainers, etc., to be able to bring those people to a good level so we can employ them at various organizations, and they would never look back ever again, and they would never commit an offense ever. So this would be the biggest challenge of ours, and this would be the biggest project of ours, and we are really looking forward to that, and that will start in just over a month time. So yeah, that's the progress we have made, and that's the reason I've started it.
Thank you so much, Kumar. It sounds very inspiring, and also maybe something we can take as inspiration of what also is needed in Latvia, because also we have the same problem. We have quite high unemployment, and especially with the COVID, many people are now out of their jobs, especially the seasonal jobs and the ones working for cafes. And so there are many similar situations. And so thank you so much for sharing your perspective on this. Okay, let me get back to the social enterprises and ask you a question about your, once you started at Natalija, you said you started one and then a second social enterprise, but about the question is about your path, about expectations, hopes, and then the difficulties you faced, the actual things that were slowing you down, and how maybe you got over them and how you resolved them. So because I don't think this is the easiest path. I don't think this is a very simple path. So Natalija, we'll start with you. So about your path, about your hopes, your expectations, and then about the difficulties.
Yes. We were thinking in our project about the business firstly, yes. So why it was much easier than for others, yeah, because we have this business thinking in the beginning. You know, we didn't have any special expectations because I'm disabled and I'm in the same pool as other disabled people. Yeah, so what others think about the disabled, about their skills and abilities, they think the same about me. Yeah, so why I just wanted to change these stereotypes, yeah, and to show so why it was such a little passion to show that disabled people can do in some fields much more than healthy people, yeah. So why we didn't have a lot of difficulties. Yes, because our main task was to make a business, to earn the money, to earn firstly the salary. Yeah, about the profit, about this possibilities to about the law that social enterprises can't share the profit. Yeah. Mostly business projects in Latvia are not so profitable. They firstly give the jobs, yeah, they produce the product, but they don't have such high profit. It's not a millions, and that yes. So why for me it wasn't a hard decision, yeah, about the profit, especially now. Some difficulties was with the Correcty project when we got some interests from investors from different investment projects. Yeah? For example, we are the part of commercialization reactor. It's a European Union like investment project, yeah, but we negotiated that we will decide what to do in 5 years after our agreement with reactor will end, and what to do with the profit, what to do with our shares, yeah, with our parts, and how to divide them. Yeah, so everything is negotiable, but not everyone is able to negotiate so actively. So why maybe it could be some difficulties, yeah, but there is no huge investors line for social projects, yes, so it's not a huge problem. Yeah, much harder is to work with social enterprises who are main aim is to create a job for disabled people, for poor people, or for refugees. Yeah, it's much harder. Yeah, because it's a much harder contingent to work with. But in our motivation field, especially, we don't have this financial responsibility for our social aim. Yeah, so why we don't have any problems so far. Yeah, if we would get, we didn't get still the autumn grant, so why, yeah, we don't feel these difficulties. Maybe we will feel it in a year, because we are on a way to autumn grant. Yeah, and when it will start, the financial responsibilities will be a little bit other discussion about the problems and problems in social enterprise. Yeah, so far it's a little bit very optimistic. Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't want to discourage people. We want to hear the positive stories. Thank you, Natalija.
Yeah, so we are this positive. Yeah, we are social enterprise officially without the autumn grant. Yeah, I don't know if there are so many social enterprises in Latvia. We got about 120 social enterprises, and almost all of them got an Altum grant, so they are financially responsible. We are, both my projects have this status, but not have Altum grants, so we don't have these responsibilities, so yeah.
So that's you feel that for now it's actually a good thing because you're more free.
Thing. It's a passion thing, yes. So we are not doing it because of money, yeah, because of grants, but yeah. But it's very good PR. It's very, very good PR. We haven't paid for any articles in medias, but we've got very good media attention.
Mm-hmm. That's very important. I will now ask Maria about a similar question, not so much about the difficulties you face, but maybe about some, let's say, positive examples you can think of social enterprise industry, of some you come across as an accelerator, where there have been difficulties, and what are they typically, and that maybe have been overcome, or a positive solution to some difficult problems. What comes to your mind?
Well, when you talk about difficulties in business, I know we live in a time when it's fashionable to talk about some magic formulas, how to attract money and how to make your life easy. But we all know that that's just people who work know that it's nonsense. Life is hard, there are obstacles, there are difficulties, but we are able to overcome those. This is why we say, businesses offer solutions, social business offers solutions. We are able to come up with solutions to all these problems and all these difficulties. It just that you'll have to work for it. It's a difference between being an entrepreneur and versus being a hired worker somewhere. Stays also in social business. You come to work and you have to find the problems, find the solutions to them. But the social entrepreneur must concentrate not only on making money, but also concentrate on making the social impact. So that is the main difficulty, to keep these two things on your desktop. You cannot concentrate only on money. You can't evaluate yourself only by means of by looking at your balance sheet, or counting the money in your pocket. So most difficulties that I see social entrepreneurs facing are very similar to difficulties in classical business. Now, on the good side, you get to experience this deep satisfaction of making a world a better place. You don't feel you're only taking care of yourself. Whatever you do in your social business, you understand that it is by definition has a deeper meaning, because you're taking care also of other people around you. So there are plenty of good examples. I prefer I prefer to speak about Latvian examples, although we don't have social enterprises as big as international startups. Most of our social, yet we don't have. I know people are working towards that, but most of social enterprises in Latvia are small and servicing their own communities, but nevertheless the impact they produce is tremendous. Like a social enterprise in a small town where that employs several blind people to make knitwear and sell it. Yes, it's small. We can laugh, like from the business perspective, we can laugh, but they make small money that provides for these several families. And if they wouldn't do that, if they wouldn't organize it as a business, these several families would not be provided for. And they're not asking for money from anybody. They're making their money. They're producing a valuable product. In return, they earn money. So or for example, there are one of my favorite examples is a social enterprise in Sigulda, which I think by now has the whole city, the whole town, you know, working around it, because they are so important. It's cerību spārni, the wings of hope, and 15 years or 17 years ago, it was just several families that came together, several families with children with disabilities came together because the services they were able to receive from the government were not enough for them to organize their lives. So they came together in order to have organize for their children, you know, the daycare or some studies, some lessons, somehow to get along. Now that is a huge day center that is considered to be, well, huge in comparison to what it was, but it's a big day center with a lot of services that can be provided for families all over Latvia, which is high quality. It's #1 choice for families with disabled children from all over the country. Totally grassroots initiative that and they are making money, because now they're specialists. They are charging, and they're charging for their services, and also receive support from the local municipality and so on. So it of course it's partly business, partly charity, because it's a big organization by now. What else? There are charities in Latvia that are opening social businesses to grow, as we say in Accelerator, another leg for income. You know, you stand on one leg, which is donations, you grow another leg, which is a small business, for example, something you can offer to the wider community that would generate you profit. I don't know, bakery, cafe, you know, additional things like that, which all are businesses and require business knowledge to build. Am I answering the question?
Yes, I think you gave a very nice, very specific and meaningful and impactful examples. So thank you. I will now ask Kumar a variant of this question, a little bit of the same, about the, you know, you have also started this charity from zero. It's not like you joined a big existing organization. So starting something like that, you know, trying to find the partners, trying to serve the market. What difficulties have you faced, and how have you overcome, and how has that been for you?
No, it's a challenging process. It's an ongoing process. You know, it's only been 4 months' time. So all the previous contacts that I've created over several years of running my ad agency, that's been handy. But having said that, it takes a lot of negotiations. I can think of Westpac Banking. We started our chat over 6 months ago, and only now we have been connected to the foundation of Westpac. Westpac is a bank with $650 billion of, what is it, assets. So yeah, it comes under top 50 banks in the world. So yeah, the bigger the organization, the slower they move. Same with other organizations that we have partnered up. So ongoing process, it requires a lot of communication, a lot of frustrating communications actually. But yeah, end of the day, it's not just about me, it's about the people who I have committed to work for. So yeah, and also one thing I'm discovering now is, as I have been communicating with the government to receive some grants, you need to have probably a PhD degree in writing grants, grant applications. So yeah, I'm not an expert of that, far from it. I did a master's degree in communication, and to my understanding, I wrote a perfect letter, you know, to my local MP, which was just a 2-page letter. But you know, government processes, they say, like, you know, why isn't it 10 pages? Like, you know, I mean, do you not have any idea how to write grant letters? I thought, like, I mean, I wrote A to Z about my proposal in this. What is it that have I not written in there? They could not point any single thing, but they say it's not 10 pages. I was like, you know, I mean, stop making it, you know, boring, mundane, like 10-page document. Who's got time to read it these days? I gave them an example of Apple or Microsoft. You know, so some of these largest companies which are very popular, Nike, let's take that example. You know how short their communication is, nice and, you know, nice and short and on to money. Do people care about government communication, or people care about, you know, communication that comes out of Nike or Apple's, you know, PR? So I think these government bodies will have to, you know, it will take time for them to understand what actual communication is all about, rather than just, you know, writing things and, you know, filling things out in 10 pages, you know, just to make it. So yeah, it's a very difficult process. If I was to recommend, you know, opening a charity to somebody, I would not, because someone was saying that, you know, there are various charities out there, you know, in your country. Same thing here, is there are various charities here as well. So it gets very competitive, you know, for grants from the government as well as private organizations. Everyone is knocking door at the same time. So who to give money to? And also in the process of getting DGR status, which allows us to receive money, what is it? You know, tax deductible money from, you know, any organization. We had to tailor our company to a level that, you know, we do not charge money for our service. So we could have created a different foundation in our organization, and, you know, could have kept half the organization which was there to make money. I said, you know, I mean, we would like to create a full structure of the company as not for profit, and we would not charge any money to any of those poor candidates. We only serve long-term unemployed people, 6 months or above. So on that basis, has government given us this DGR status, which is a bit of a reputation in the industry. Not everybody gets that, but because we have gotten this, we aren't allowed to charge, and that was my agenda anyway, not to charge money to the poor people who we get to serve. So our fight lies in the hands of government as well as private bodies. And unfortunately, because of COVID situation, things are pretty tight at the moment. But yeah, we are making small progress, as money is not my priority, or our priority. And something on the side, what I look up to is, you know, I came from India, and, you know, I heard a lot about Mother Teresa's charity, you know, something of very kind and caring, and not really worrying about any PR or money, so to speak. So, you know, yeah, every now and then I think of that, and even if I achieve like, you know, 2% of that kind of persona, well, I'll be very happy.
Thank you for this perspective and a very positive, inspirational story. But also, I want to point out to maybe students who are listening that the experience from Australia, where you know, from starting to talk with a company, you only might get some results in 6 months' time. This is to understand that not to get discouraged where companies don't respond at first or don't go all in at first. That this is something in a process that the bigger bodies move slower, and also the difficulties communicating with government. I'm sure Natalija and Maria will agree. We face similar problems. I am now asking each of you a last question, and I'll probably ask you to keep the answer sort of short to about 2 minutes each, because we are nearing the end of our discussion time. So my last question, an important question from the perspective of career of the future, is become for a moment a futurist, a somebody making a prognosis about the future for your industry. You know, how will it grow? Will social enterprises grow? Will charities grow? What skills will be required of students wanting to work in your field? So in the future, not now, but what do you think, what will be required in the future when some students who are now in year one, in 5 years, they will be graduates and they might be choosing this path? What advice for them? So let's start with Natalija again.
Yes. In future and also now, yes, we think we see that there are a little bit of lack of business skills or business thinking skills because there are a lot of social thinking, but too less business, and you don't need you need not to. You need to have to see this the difference between the social enterprise and charity enterprise. Yeah. Also, this like a social responsibility or thinking about the future. Not on. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very important to live with this passion and to live with your idea. Yeah, not just to do it because of it's fashionable, because it's more than something new, something interesting, something money making, but it's important to live with it, and it's very important to bring something personal into. Yeah, this storytelling, it's very important in social business. Yes, from my side. So yes, and education, and it's, yeah, it will not be enough just to have an idea. You need to be hardworking. Yeah, it's not easy as business field, but it's when you will see the results and this a lot of thank you from your audience, a lot of thank you from your clients also. Yeah, you will feel much better than in the traditional business. Yeah.
Thank you, Natalija. Thank you for this. Maria, I would ask you to comment on the industry of social enterprises. What does the future hold, and what skills will be required?
Well, I definitely think that in the interesting times as we're in, and that are likely to continue, it's very important to possess psychological resilience. That's the main thing. And for young people, for students, I would say that proactive entrepreneurial spirit is definitely necessary. We live in the times when more and more we realize that we cannot rely on existing structures because we basically see them crumbling. My generation, we already seen that in our lifetime, and we understand that we can go through, but you have to be entrepreneurial, you have to have a problem-solving attitude, and definitely we all understand by now that you have to have empathy and care for the community and for the environment. So we understand that, yes, it depends on us, and yes, we have to work together, and we have to calculate upfront what consequences we're going to achieve, what not only what are our goals, but what would be the byproduct of us achieving our goals. So we have to think for ourselves and for others, all of us, and we have to take responsibility, and that is the essence, actually, taking responsibility and being proactive. It's the essence of being an entrepreneur. So that is very, very necessary these days. That's what I believe. And from this point of view, social entrepreneurship is, I mean, it's only at the beginning. Even in the world, we just realized that we just can do business in a different way. It's a different way to do business. It's a different way to work, thinking not only about yourself but also about others. So I think it's the dawn of the new business ethics, which we witness right now.
Thank you. Very inspirational answer. Thank you very much for this. Kumar, yeah, that's just, you are the last to speak on this. What are your feelings about what the future needs in terms of skills in this field, in this inspirational sort of field?
What the future needs? I think, the skills that are required for this would be, did I mention grant writing? The communication skills. And also, like the old-fashioned business world has been money-oriented, right? So, there is a limit to it. And based on all those reasons, the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. So Australia is seeing it, India is seeing it, there are lots of countries out there which are seeing it. So a new way to deal with businesses, be able to make some money and be able to let others live at the same time and not creating so much gap in between. Social enterprise is a good way to go. There are so many people who are unemployed. You can involve them in, you can share the profits accordingly. It's about, live and let live. So instead of just making billions of dollars, and, I was mentioning about these banks, trying to support us, but I didn't mention, like how these banks operate. I'm sure it doesn't require any definition of, how these banks operate. Recently, some of these banks, they were slammed with multi-million-dollar fines, because of their practices, right? So that proves the point is, why be too greedy to go, to cross the line? There's no need of. And why would you not serve the communities as much as you could? It's in terms of in-kind support or just supporting other charities. If these bigger corporations, they give out, rather than just giving all the money to their shareholders and, filling the pockets of the big CEOs of these corporations, like multi-million-dollar, I mean, there is no limit to it. I mean, the amount of money that these people make. I mean, what's the need? Human beings, they just get greedy. So if actually there is some structure to it and they have some empathy for the people, everyone will win if they think for others as well. Yeah. So I think future will hold more of ethical businesses because people are getting more and more educated about things, and these kind of shonky practices of businesses get found out. So they can no longer run businesses in the same way as they used to. So I think for future purposes, just by having a bit of shame and perhaps maybe their heart will change as well, caring. So, they will start to care, and also for the sake of PR purposes too. So they will start to care for organizations, social enterprises, and people will become more caring as well. I suppose, lots of people are changing. So yeah, more and more people will come take part. Society needs organizations like this. So yeah, I believe more people will come join this journey, and it will be a great journey.
Thank you. No, thank you for finishing on such an inspirational note and seeing the future as more of an ethical business and more of a social business needed. And now I just want to take the opportunity to thank all the panelists for today. I think it's been a great discussion with great depths, practical examples, stories, and realities of social enterprises and charities. And we have some students who've joined us, but we've also made a recording of this and we will share it with the students. And so thank you so much for your time and for your contribution and for your contribution to the society, for your difference that you're making. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. Good to meet you all.
Thank you.